This is Nick Nilsson, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I've got for you today here is a one-arm dumbbell row variation. Now, it's almost exactly like a regular one-arm dumbbell row, with one major exception. When you're doing this exercise, this is going to get around one of the major problems that I found with the one-arm dumbbell row, and that's the fact that you're using one arm at a time. This exercise is going to get around that by actually having you alternate between arms using the same dumbbell. What you're going to do is row it up, set it on the bench, switch hands, lower it on the other side. Then you're going to repeat, going back and forth between the two different sides. So this allows you to do a one-arm dumbbell row exercise even when, say, your program you're on is better done with a two-arm exercise. For example, my time volume training method, 3 rep sets. I've done it with one-arm dumbbell rows, do 3 reps, rest 10 seconds, 3 reps, rest 10 seconds, and continue. With this, you actually do 3 reps back and forth. You hit both sides rather than having to just do one side at a time. So this gets around that. It also allows you to use very heavy weight. You pull it up, set it on the bench. When you're doing the other side, you can actually lower your chest towards that dumbbell, get in that peak contracted position, then bring it off the bench in that peak contracted position and lower to the ground on the eccentric part of the movement, which is going to be a stronger movement, obviously. So this allows you to, really heave it up if you really want to go to that extent, to get heavier weight up into position and then do a negative focused rep on the other side. And you're alternating back and forth between the two different sides. So enough talking, let's see what it looks like here. When you're doing this one, don't set your knee on the bench. You're just going to set a hand on the bench and then lift the dumbbell up from there. Right. Now, you can go a lot heavier. This is a 125-pound dumbbell. I'm going to move into the do-it-yourself Olympic handle that I've got and really load up some weight on this. So I can really feel this across the back. As you can see, it allows you to work both arms in the same set, like I was showing you, and use a lot of weight and really target your back very strongly. So here's what it looks like with the bigger weight. Alright, now for the heavier weight, I've had to kind of modify the exercise a little bit because, as it turns out, my do-it-yourself dumbbell handle is too long. So if I try and lift it, it actually hits my leg and doesn't work at all. So what I'm doing here is, instead of doing it on the end like I was showing you before, I'm going to do it coming at it from the side using an overhand grip. I'm going to row / deadlift the weight up onto the bench, switch hands, bring it back down on the same side here. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate for you here now. If you do have one of these do-it-yourself barbells, if you find that your legs are getting in the way, this is another option. This is a great way to hit more of the upper back area as well, as opposed to using the neutral grip, which kind of hits more of the lower lat. So this is also, aside from having just a piece of equipment that's too long, it's a great variation of the exercise as well. as you can see, this allows for heavier loads. This is actually very similar in concept to a croc row, if you're familiar with it, done spotting yourself using a bench. So in terms of parallels, that's a great exercise to kind of model. So it's a very similar kind of movement and allows for maximum loading of the upper back muscles.